On January 20th, 2025, America bore witness to a perversion of justice. President Trump, in a move that shocked even his critics, issued pardons and commutations to a staggering number of individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol attack. Over 1,500 people, previously deemed criminals by the justice system, were granted clemency. This included not just low-level offenders but individuals who orchestrated and led the assault on American democracy. This wasn't just about erasing convictions, it was about erasing accountability. Trump, with the stroke of a pen, sought to rewrite history, painting convicted felons as patriots and victims of a witch hunt. He called for national reconciliation while driving a wedge deeper into the heart of the nation. This act, occurring 4 years to the day after the insurrection, felt like a cruel anniversary gift to the American people. It was a stark reminder that the wounds of January 6th are far from healed, and that the very foundation of our democracy remains fragile. The Justice Department, which conducted the largest investigation in its history following the attack, found its efforts effectively dismantled. Years of work, countless testimonies, and mountains of evidence seemingly disregarded in favor of political expediency. Among those granted pardons were individuals whose actions on January 6th shocked the conscience of the nation. Julian Cater, convicted of assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick with bear spray, now walks free. Devlin Thompson, who attacked an officer with a metal baton, had his sentence wiped clean. Robert Palmer, who assaulted police with a fire extinguisher, a wooden plank, and a pole, is no longer held accountable for his actions. The commutations were equally egregious. Stuart Rhodes, the leader of the Oath Keepers militia, saw his 18-year sentence for seditious conspiracy reduced. Enrique Tarrio, the former Proud Boys chairman, had his 22-year sentence similarly commuted. These were not mere foot soldiers caught in the moment. These were individuals who planned, organized, and incited violence against the very heart of American democracy. The message was clear. Loyalty to Trump trumps loyalty to the Constitution. By pardoning and commuting the sentences of these individuals, Trump sent a clear message about his priorities and his disregard for the rule of law. The very people who sought to overturn a democratic election, who injured and traumatized countless others, were now being hailed as martyrs by the former president. The pardons represented a rogues gallery of insurrectionists. Their faces, forever etched in the history of the Capitol attack, are now symbols of a justice system seemingly manipulated for political gain. These were not simply acts of vandalism or civil disobedience. They were calculated attempts to prevent the peaceful transfer of power, a bedrock principle of American democracy. Trump, in his signature defiant style, framed the pardons as an act of courage, a stand against a rigged system. He painted the January 6th rioters as victims, political prisoners persecuted for their beliefs. He spoke of witch hunts and deep state conspiracies, echoing the same baseless claims that fueled the insurrection itself. His words, dripping with demagoguery, found a receptive audience among his most ardent supporters. They cheered his defiance, echoing his claims of a stolen election and a corrupt justice system. To them, the pardons were a victory, a righteous blow against a system they believe is stacked against them. Trump's justification ignored the reality of that day. It disregarded the hours of testimony, the mountains of evidence, the violence inflicted upon law enforcement officers just trying to do their jobs. It ignored the trauma inflicted upon lawmakers, staffers, and journalists who feared for their lives as the Capitol was breached. The pardons were not about justice, they were about power. They were a blatant attempt to whitewash a dark chapter in American history and to further erode trust in democratic institutions. By casting himself as the defender of the forgotten man, Trump sought to legitimize violence as a form of political expression, a dangerous precedent in any democracy. The reaction to the pardons was swift and predictable. Democrats condemned the move as an affront to democracy, a blatant abuse of power. Republicans, largely silent or muted in their criticism, revealed a party still beholden to Trump and his base, no matter how far he strays from the norms of American politics. Polls conducted in the aftermath of the pardons revealed a deeply divided nation. While a majority of Americans opposed the move, a significant minority, largely comprised of Republicans, supported Trump's decision. The partisan divide, already vast, seemed to widen further, fueled by misinformation and a lack of shared reality. Families of the injured and deceased officers expressed outrage and heartbreak. They felt betrayed by a system that would pardon those responsible for the loss and suffering they endured. Their pain, raw and palpable, served as a stark reminder of the human cost of January 6th, a cost often lost in the political back and forth. The pardons have left an indelible stain on American democracy. They are a stark reminder of the fragility of our institutions and the ever-present threat of authoritarianism. The fight for truth, justice, and accountability continues, but it is a fight that has become even more difficult, more urgent, and more consequential.